sensitive soul friend. It's your energizing host, Nicole. Welcome to the Zenspiration Show, your one-way ticket to a mental margarita and a refreshing dip in the pool of possibility. Feel like life's turned the blender to chaos mode? Are you ready to break free from the noise? Create your own blend of Zen energy and inspiration? This is the show where we navigate the wild ways of today's world with practical wisdom, wonder, and a dash of magic sauce, so you get to live your life fueled by passion, purpose, and a lot of empowered vibes. Get ready to energize your life. We're headed to a magical place I call Inspiration Island. The Zenspiration Show starts now. We are literally coming to you from Inspiration Island, this show. I'm so excited. We got so much going on. The energy this week is off the charts. So let's dive in. Yeah? How about this big cryptic topic of intuition? This is an area and a topic that I get so many questions on. How do I know if it's my intuition? I feel like I'm really intuitive, but more for others than I am for myself. Have you ever felt that way? Does it feel like, I easily, boom, 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 come up with things for other people, insight, ideas. I connect the spiritual dots for them. But when it comes to my own life, my own path, I do so much overthinking. Hey, you know what? If that's you, I got you, my friend, my soul-seeking friend. We are going to dive in to help you own your intuitive awesomeness, especially if you're a super feeler like me. Oh yeah, I feel that we kind of have a sneaky little advantage at being more intuitive, but only if you know what I'm about to drop on you today, and it is going to be good. So if you feel like you're really intuitive, but you don't know how to quite tap in and harness that and use it to make these rapid, like on point decisions for yourself, let's unravel the mystery, shall we? I think we should. All right. If you've tried a lot of things, which a lot of the clients that come to work with me, they have tried online courses, they've read books, they've watched YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video. They've tried reels and tips and things, and still, is it my ego? Is it me? Is it intuition? How do I know? How do I know if I'm on the right path? And these are all normal things. Now, on my journey, I heard of intuition. Let's go back a few years, okay, in my path and my experience. I always thought of being intuitive like my grandma. I thought my grandma was really intuitive. She was, by the way. But I did not know back then that everyone's intuitive. Everyone. You, me, everyone. I thought only some people were intuitive. And so on my path and my journey, the more that I explored and started to learn, I also found, looking back now, a lot of gaps in what I was learning, what I was perceiving or picking up on as far as intuition, still made intuition feel really cryptic and kind of out there and not really in here. That didn't come for me until much, much later in my journey. So I want to help fill in some of those gaps. This is what I love to do also. I love taking something that feels spiritually cryptic and making it really super simple and fun. In fact, this very week, right now in my community, I'm hosting Mission Intuition. So this is kind of on point that we're talking about this topic today. Tomorrow, they're going on a spiritual scavenger hunt. I have all kinds of things, intuitive games, because I don't think that intuition should feel so out there, so hard, so confusing, whatever. Or to know, how frustrating is that? To know I have it, but I'm not effectively using it. Isn't that a big difference? There's a big difference between knowing. So let's talk about that. Knowing what intuition is, just ponder that for a moment. what actually is intuition. I'll get like dictionary book kind of definitions from my clients initially and from people in the community where, oh, well, intuition, it's that inner wisdom, right? It's insight, it's knowing I'm on the right path. It's being able to trust my vibes. It is all of those things, but I always like to go deeper. I like to go deeper than just a book definition of what is intuition. Intuition is the way that your soul, one, communicates with you. Your soul is sending you signs, signals. Look at this, avoid that. Well, that's not right. Yes, this is for you, right? All of these signs and signals. So that's a common question I'll get. How do I know if it's a sign? How do I know if it's a sign for me? And so that's certainly what we want to understand. Intuition is the communication channel between you and your soul, not just your soul communicating with you. It's this ongoing conversation that's happening. It's not just a sign or a signal. This is an ongoing and flowing conversation between you and your soul that must stay open, right? Open channel so that you're sending, receiving, sending, receiving. Oh, this is so amazing. You never, ever, ever feel alone or isolated on your path again. Well, that sounds good to me. I always thought that sounded good, but it's also the way. Intuition is the key, the way to unlock that limitless potential inside of you. It's the way to choose, choose your empowered path. It's the way to launch effectively and in a most energizing and inspiring way those ideas that chose you to share them with the world. Intuition is a really powerful thing. Now, more than ever in today's world, is it's not even important, it's imperative that you lean into your intuition, your inner guidance. There's so much going, let's be real. Let's bring it in, okay? There's a lot going on out there in the world. There's a lot of noise, opinions. I'll call it chaos. We got some energetic chaos happening. It's an opportunity out there, though, I feel, for transformation, for you to decide what is adding and enhancing the quality of my life and what is taking away from that. You and I have the power to choose what we engage with and what is not for us. We don't need to avoid it. There's no, because sometimes I'll have that too. I'll have people say, well, I know if I was more intuitive, then I would avoid a lot of the chaos around me. I could stay really tuned in to what's right for myself, for my path. Now that's true, but we also do not need to move through life feeling like we must avoid all of the noise or that's a lot of extra energy work. And I want you to be able to channel your energy into your ideas and into what brings you more fulfillment instead of just what do I want to avoid. We don't need to avoid it, because when you're tuned in and you're intuitively choosing each step and what you want to invest your time and your energy in, you just sort of naturally expand, and a lot of the chaos, you're not aligned with it. You might not even notice half of it, but if you're trying to avoid it, well, then you might notice all of it. Okay, so let's not use that approach. However, now I'm dialed in. So intuition is not just a book definition. It's not just knowing things or being on the right path or receiving signs and signals. It's a whole lifestyle. For me, intuition is a lifestyle. Living intuitively, that just enhances every area and has enhanced every area of my life. And before I understood it to that depth, I was doing is this my intuition or not? I was, and hemming and hawing, overthinking decisions, wanting to get it right. That's not intuition. Intuition isn't a thinking process necessarily, but later in the show, I'm going to share with you myths, misconceptions. I'm going to tell you what others are not telling you about intuition that you need to know in order to maximize your intuitive abilities. Wouldn't that be amazing? Just maximize your intuitive abilities without much effort. That it's so innate. You don't have to think about anything. Initially, when I'm working with my clients who are so awesome, they're so open, they're so intuitive, but they're not necessarily, and this may resonate with you, not necessarily applying or leaning into their intuition. And so there's a lot of clunkiness that we start with as I start to teach them how to feel into and align, right? Activate. Now, activate simply means actively using their intuition more than their thinking mind. However, you can use mindset. And so I want to talk about that later in the show. But now it's about getting clear what intuition is. Yes, more than the book definition, right? This is a lifestyle that completely enhances the quality of your life, the quality of your life, the quality of your health, the quality of your fitness. Maybe it's the quality of the connection you have and what kind of clients you're attracting if you're a business owner. Maybe it's the quality of your your prosperity, your abundance mindset. Maybe it's the quality of your relationships. Happy. Let me tell you a little story about me, okay? Because my relationships early on, before I really understood this, I was talking myself into relationships, friendships, interacting and doing activities because thought I thought that it was just me. Maybe it was just me that I should like this. Everyone else likes this. Or I should try this because everyone else is doing it. Or, I mean, they said that this would work. This person, oh, they're a nice person. Maybe I'm just being too sensitive about things. And it's more, instead of always I'm all about being accountable, but instead of always talking yourself into something that doesn't feel right for you, as in if it feels light, it's right. Instead, you're talking yourself into something, thinking that you're to this, you're not enough of that. We don't want to be self critical. There's a difference between being accountable. Okay, I can own that. That's my stuff. I'm in charge of my energy, what I put into my life or what I decide just doesn't belong there. Great. But not in a way that I'm going to keep people, places, and things in my life because it must just be me. And I did that a lot. So I found myself discovering things, say, I know we like to say the hard way, but I feel like I just took some longer detours to get back to my path. I took and invested a lot of time and energy in relationships that were very one-sided. I was an over-functioning kind of person. Now, I learned that early on. Again, maybe this resonates with you. My mother being schizophrenic, being emotionally not present, emotionally in her drama, okay, and emotionally in all of her woes, but not emotionally present as a mother. And so I found myself going it on my own a lot and picking up the slack. So what she wasn't able to do mentally, emotionally, even just being present in daily life, I picked up the slack early on. I learned how to be hyper independent. And now wait, because here's how we really get into this survival mind, which we're going to talk about in the next segment more deeply. But I learned how to survive by thinking fast on my feet. I had to. Nobody else was doing that. So at an early age, I took on a lot of those responsibilities. I wouldn't say that I wasn't making intuitive decisions. It's not that you, my friend, have not made intuitive decisions in your favor. Of course you have. but not recognizing what that is or how to duplicate it. How do I do that again? Right? That works really well. How do I do that again? That's what I want all of anyone that I interact with, especially in working with my clients. I want to show you how your intuition's always been working for you. That's right. Your intuition has never failed, not once. It's always been 100% in your favor. However, what we are taught and what we tend to do if we're not feeling that or observing that is we think, oh, I did that wrong. Why did I do that? Why didn't I do that? So we're questioning, we're grilling ourselves, we're being really intense with our behaviors and our actions. And that's what I want to pull you away from and put you back in your intuitive sweet spot. Put you where you are dialing in. You are calibrating to what you do want, and you're moving away from what you don't want. So your actual vibration just attracts to you more of what is in alignment for you, right? What if we could take the guesswork out of it? Just take the guesswork out of it. And instead of, I don't know, should I? Is this right? What if I get it wrong? This is all coming from ego, our problem mind. What if I miss out? What if I don't get it right? Then what? And creating some scenario that feels scary or just a lot of mess. Again, want to pull you out of that. I just had a message with a client I worked with a few years back, and I was reading, and she said, I think the greatest thing that you help me understand is that there is no intuitive maybe. There's an intuitive yes, an intuitive no. There's no fuzziness in between. And when you really understand your intuitive yes, your intuitive no, how that translates for you in a physical way that you can physically sense it, so it becomes more tangible for you. It's not as cryptic. Is it mystical? I guess. But for me, the mystical is practical. Because if we can take that and actually make it feel tangible as picking up this pen, right? Or as tangible as writing yourself a note, but you're doing that energetically and it feels tangible for you, how simple would it be to navigate your path? Now, what if you don't trust yourself? Why does that even happen? If we're born with self-trust, where does it come from? How do we get to a place where I don't know if I'm making the right decision? And what makes some decisions simple, Simon? There's no thought. It's just boom, right? Day one of Mission Intuition, I'm having everyone really sort through what area of your life. So this is what I want you to sit with. What area of your life seems so simple to make dialed in decisions? There's no ruminating. There's no thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking even more. There's no back and forth over the intuitive fence. Is it yes? Is it no? I don't know. Ending up in the middle, right? And what area feels, I don't know. Where does the pressure come from? Pressure come from that we're trying to make these decisions with. That's what we're going to talk about in segment 2. So I want you to give that some thought. And I'm going to give you some signs and consequences. Signs and consequences if you are a chronic self-doubter, where that comes from. So just sit with those areas. Where am I strongest in my intuition? What area of my life feels most challenging in my life? And what can I do about it? You are listening to the Inspiration Show with your Quest for Life coach, Nicole. I love this topic. I absolutely love it. And of course, when we come back again, signs, consequences, of being a chronic self-doubter. Where does it come from? Why does it happen? And how can we turn it around? I'm going to share all that with you and more. I have so much more packed into this episode. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Okay, I'm back too. Let's dive in. Here's what it is. We've talked about so far. What is intuition? Book definition. That's out. We know that it's more than that, you and I. And now we're going to dive in. So it seems kind of obvious to me and maybe to you that using your intuition to guide, tune in, make decisions sounds good. But what happens if you're a chronic self-doubter? Again, these are things that I hear from clients that I've worked with throughout the years, and yours truly. Yeah, I was queen of self-doubt. That's where it started. So I have nothing but love and understanding. I feel you in my heart if that resonates with you. And you know what? It is so changeable, absolutely changeable. Now, a few signs if you're a chronic self-doubter, that might look like you have relationships in your life that feel really draining. And even if they've been there for a long time, I don't even know how many clients over the years have said to me, well, we've been friends for 10 years, 20 years, so long. It's always been that way. Or very specifically, I had a client I worked with who was in a marriage for 40 years and did not come to me, by the way, to work through any challenges in her marriage. It was a different family relationship that really felt challenging, and the communication was so off. Now, she felt like I've given so much to the relationship, and this person has just really cut me out. They're not hearing my side of things, no matter what I try. And this was really hurting and weighing on her heart. Now, when we started to look at things, instead of, you might think, well, let's really figure out what this person, well, why are they doing that? And that was what she was trying. That was her approach. She was reacting to whatever she was getting or not receiving, not receiving from the other person, which was making it really challenging because every day was different. It just, sometimes the person was warm to her, sometimes the person was cold to her. At one point, she had completely cut her off, and now she really felt disconnected and hurt by that. So when we started to work together, I don't focus on what that other person's doing at all. I help my client tune in to what she wanted and needed in a relationship, what was valuable to her, what were uh, her core values and the qualities of a healthy relationship. And what she discovered was that first and foremost, you need to work on the relationship with herself. And so that's what she did. And as her energy started to shift and change, she brought her power back from focusing on the other person and her on off in between to this is where I feel good. This is what I need. She soon discovered as she was empowering herself more that her relationship in her marriage was actually one where she was again over functioning. She became the mediator. If he made a remark and it upset someone, she would immediately go in and try and repair that. And so the more that we worked on her relationship with herself and becoming more and more empowered, more intuitive, leaning into those skills, it did lead to a point where she recognized that her marriage wasn't actually the happiest or healthiest. It was very one-sided. And again, it was nothing to do with her spouse. We did not focus there. Okay, so if you're finding that you have relationships in your life that feel very one-sided and that you are either over functioning, you're always taking the reins, you're always making the accommodations, you're always appeasing to please, or you're trying to mend things, calm the waters. These are definitely signs that you might, and there are dynamics in relationships that we trained that way energetically. So we're just used to, it's not something that we're thinking about, oh, today I'm going to overfunction in this relationship. I'm going to take over and just try to make sure we're not doing this consciously. This is energetically what's been happening. And so the more that she brought her power back to herself and focused there, and the more she was intuitively understanding, this is what works for me, this is what does not work for me, it was creating some different dynamics in the relationship. Relationships are definitely an area that intuition should be playing a significant role, because having people all around you and throughout your life that you're not really in alignment with, it's not about they do or don't do what I want, or they're good or bad or anything like that. It's more about, where are you channeling your energy? Where are you outside of what you have control of? You have control within. So that's where intuition is a great asset for you to lean into. There are other areas. We look at business and career. I had a client, she's so fun and amazed that I don't understand. I've been trying to create and build this wellness business. I love the products. This one has happened so many times with so many clients. It was my story as well. It's where I started. I thought, oh, I love these wellness products. And so she was trying to sell and build, and she knew the benefits of the products. Again, consciously, and on paper, it all checked out. There were so many yeses to why this was a great business. And she was surrounded by people who are also in this wellness business, who were helping others through the use of wellness products. She used the wellness products in her own life. She said, but you know what it is? It's so odd, because I know I should be. By the way, if you're saying phrases like, I know I should be, that is not intuition. I know I should be. And there was a lot of pressure pushed through the energy of that statement. I know I should be working on my business. Does that sound fun? I know I should be working on my business. Okay, that's more pushing energy. She said, but I'm not. I find myself, so then she started getting in the loop of, I find myself being distracted. And, then it's, I'm doing all of this instead. And so then she would lay the guilt on. And there were a lot of emotions wrapped into this that, of course, I don't know about you, but I'm not attracted to working with anybody who's all calibrated to guilt and pushing energy and pressure. No, thank you. I mean, I might do enough of that for things on my own that I'm sorting through. So I'm not drawn to that kind of energy. If she was attracting people, they were not a great match. They were either really needy, or they were pushy, or they were demanding. And so she wasn't enjoying what she was doing, not enjoying what you're doing, pushing energy, pressure. These are not energy or business building, like foundational pieces that you want to grow from. Where do you grow from that? So as we started to sift through and sort, and I asked her specific questions, her answers surprised her. And what she discovered, though, that I can say it surprised me, but it doesn't surprise me, because I always know if you're pushing, pressuring, should be, and you're guilting all over yourself, there's something else going on, and it was a deeper thing. And what she discovered, actually, she wanted to do something else. She wanted to be more creative in what she was doing. She wanted to be helping people in a different way. And by becoming a medium, which she didn't even know. I mean, speaking of intuition, when you dial in, okay, so let's look at the signs here and the consequences. The signs were, she wasn't aligned, it wasn't feeling good, pressuring, should being, and then guilting herself, beating herself up because of everything her brain was fixating on. You're not doing this, you should be doing that, you're not doing this, you should be doing that. So now she's got all this energy. She was feeling drained. She was feeling, if she thought about her business, she just instantly went heavy. It felt like a lot of work. It felt like lifting a boulder. It felt like there's just nothing about it that was drawing her in. I like to say if it's not feeling exciting and inviting, something's off, something's amiss. So we want to assess and address what that is. As I helped her assess and address what these things were, she had a deeper desire, but she also had a block because wanting to be a medium, being psychic, helping others with her intuition. First of all, she didn't know that she could do that. She thought it was a cool thing. She saw other people doing that in the world and thought, wow, what is that? By the way, if you see someone doing something and you think, wow, that is amazing. I wish I could do that. You want to pay attention to that because your intuition, your soul is saying, bring it in. The reason that you're so drawn to that, the reason that seems so cool and amazing, you have a connection with it. It's a reflection of your spiritual abilities. It's your reflection of your spiritual potential, your gifts, and what you can awaken and activate within you. That was how I started with intuition. I thought, that is amazing. I looked at people like Sylvia Brown, John Edwards. I thought, wow, what is that like? Okay, also my grandma, how does she just know that? Well, I thought that was amazing. So that's where I started to get hooked on what is this? What is this? How did they do that? But still, it wouldn't open up for me for years because I had the perception and I had the belief, or my understanding was vague. I thought that only some people could do that and you had to be born with it. Okay. So my closing the gap wouldn't happen for many years as well. But what I discovered with my client as we worked and like peel back the layers, not only did she have the same beliefs that only some people were born with the ability to do those things, also early on in her life, a family relationship and comments made by someone in her life created not only a doubt, but almost a fear that was just something you didn't mess with. That was something you don't go there. That's nothing. That's woo woo. They didn't call it woo woo back in when this person said it to her, but that's sometimes what I'll hear from people as well. Oh, that's just woo woo stuff. That's just fluff. That's just right. So we can pick up, the point being, we can pick up other people's beliefs, their belief paradigm, which might be based on fear. It might be based on, could be based on ignorance, could be based on lack of understanding, lack of experience. They just don't know. People don't know what they don't know. And they say things that just fly out of their mouth, and that might not work for you, but now you've taken it in, and that's what she did. She took that in, all of those little pieces and particles, those beliefs, those limitations. She took those in, internalized them, personalized them, and didn't even realize that that's what she had done over the years. And then by sort of looping and rethinking some of those things, she strengthened those beliefs. So I'm not someone who could ever do that. Only they can do that. I wasn't born with that. And it's just something, it doesn't work anyway. That's silly. You don't want to even mess with that. You need to be practical. That was the biggest one that was presented to her, that being intuitive was not being practical. Oh, I think that's the farthest thing from the truth. Being intuitive is the most practical thing that you can do. Here's why. Okay. Not leaning into your intuition, just guessing yourself along the way. Basing, I guess I'll try this. Maybe this will work. I hope this works. That doesn't seem practical to me at all because you can actually waste a lot of your time, a lot of your resources. Many clients that have come to work with me have invested in tons of other programs, lots of hours, trying different courses and different things, and it just hasn't really connected the spiritual dots for them. So I don't really find that very practical. I find that intuition is the most practical tool you can put in your life toolbox. The most practical. You can collapse time in your favor. You can manifest or make things real or make them happen faster than any other kind of guesswork or hodgepodging, trying a million different things, hoping something sticks. I don't want to use my time and energy in that way. I want to invest my time and energy like a laser and direct it and channel it into what is going to help and create an impact for others as rapidly as possible. I find that incredibly practical. So, the things that we're taught that keep us from leaning into our intuition, I think we need to really examine those more deeply, especially in today's world. There's a lot of avenues for anybody to put their opinion out in front of your eyeballs, to put it in your feed, to put it online, on the internet. And the only filter that I encourage you to lean in and use is your intuition. How does that resonate with me? Does it resonate with me? That doesn't resonate with me. That's how you want to get clear on your core values, on your decisions, your relationships, your next step choices, what idea or activity to invest your time and energy in, which ones to save for some other, like this is more priority for where I'm at. That is to me the most practical thing that you can do. Now, other signs that you might be a chronic self-doubter, you're just exhausted all the time. Maybe you're overthinking everything. Maybe you're ruminating on something someone said 3 weeks ago. That's pretty common. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Why didn't I say this? If you're exhausted and you're drained, again, why do we doubt, especially as super feelers? Were you ever told that you were too sensitive? Have you ever been told you're too emotional? Common one. Are you crying again? What are you crying about? I don't know why you're so upset about that. Why don't you let that go already? All of these phrases and comments, not only have I heard them and experienced them in my life, where I then thought, what? Why am I still upset about? Maybe I should be letting that go. Why can't I let that go? And I started to engage with in my own mind what that person said to me. Has that happened to you? All of these little bitty particles, okay, collect together and create a self-doubt like channel in your brain. So that becomes the filter. It must be me. I'm not doing this right. Every story that I've shared so far and all of these chronic signs, again, changeable. They're a big deal if they're impacting the quality of your life. But when I look at working with someone and helping you transform, that is absolutely opportunity for you. If you're experiencing anything that I've talked about so far, it's an opportunity for you to transform into something more powerful, something that makes life and taking inspired action on your ideas and sharing and expressing who you are in the world, building your big dream, making that your reality, reimagining your life the way you want it to be. Self-doubt is simply an opportunity for transformation. So it's not, oh my goodness, I have so many things to, no, it's none of that. But why we're taught those things, it wasn't really on purpose, and it doesn't really matter why. What matters is where you go from here. Okay. So what to think about on the break? What of the stories that I shared resonates with you? How would your life, the quality of your life, how would that transform, improve? How would it increase your energy? What else could unfold for you if we go beyond the doubt? If we go beyond the just the twisted up little pieces and parts that you've taken on. All right. So start getting in dreaming mode, because here's what's up. You're watching live the Zenspiration Show. I am your host, the Quest for Life coach, right here on Transformation Talk Radio Network. I love that you're here. We're going to continue to play. So when we come back, more fun, more clarity, more practical intuition tips. We'll be right back. Hey, listen, you know what? When you're going live in life, you don't always have wait, stop, rewind. Let's do that again. This is kind of perfect to me that tuning in, I can't quite hear. Okay. I'm going to let you in a little bit on behind the scenes. So, behind the scenes, one of my cues is that I get to listen to the music. And then when the music stops, hey, we're live. And isn't it so perfect? I feel like thank you, universe, for giving us a real life in the wild example when I cannot quite hear my intuitive tune. I don't know when I'm live. I don't know. Okay. So this is just perfect. I look at everything. There's no good or bad. There's no mistakes, mishaps. That's so like last decade. Okay. This is about real life, being in the wild. Everything happens on purpose, and we can make good purpose because of it. So in working with my clients, I love to share with them and show them through their own life experiences how their intuition has always been spot on. And they go, but wait, that can't be, because I know that there are times when I should have listened to what I felt and I didn't. And I'm like, yeah, so your intuition was 100%, but you didn't know what the signals were, or you were too distracted, or there was all that pressure we talked about before. Pressure really creates a lot of interference. We're playing some intuitive games over in my community. By the way, are you in the community? I have a community where we hang out. You can have live conversations. And it is called Empowered Living, and it's on Facebook. You can just pop over on Facebook, Empowered Living. You'll see the banner, and it's our sunny spot on the web where I provide resources additional to what we're doing here on the show. So hop on over there and join us. But intuitive games, because again, looking at book definitions or looking at, I think that what's missing a lot in what's out there is teaching you what it is and how it can help you, and but not really per you. So I want to walk my clients, like if we work together, showing you through your own life experiences what was and what was missed or what was misunderstood, and how do we connect the spiritual dots, right? So that you're moving forward and saying, oh, I know this one. If I was playing a trivia game, isn't that the fun part? Oh, I know this one. And your hand goes up and you're all in and you get a point. Well, why can't life be that kind of gamified adventure? Oh, I know this one. Oh, this worked out so sweet. Yes, I'm so inspired. That's the way I look at everything in life, that it gets to be that fun. I know there are times that are more challenging for us, and we definitely don't want to avoid those times. That is where you really lean in and apply what you've learned. It's a spiritual law to lean in and apply what you've learned. The law of relativity is exactly why we want these challenges. I mean, again, if I were playing a game and a challenge comes up and I get double points or whatever, double gold coins, oh, I don't want that. But it's a game, so you think, cool. But in life, we say, I don't want that. I just want everything to be easy. No, you don't. You don't want everything to be easy, because you will get bored. You'll drop out. This is why a lot of people are thinking, oh, I just want life to be easy. But then it's just blah. If it's just easy, it's just blah. Now, there's a difference between life feeling easy, feeling effortless. Even in challenging times, I trust myself. I'm going to move through this as powerfully and rapidly as possible. and I'm going to gain everything I can to learn here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to tell you that I feel as super feelers, if you are highly sensitive, been told, I said that in the last segment, I've been told you're too sensitive. Have you ever been told you're too emotional? And I have worked with many clients who say, I have ideas, I have visions, but I feel like my sensitivities are holding me back. This is, again, you're not leaning into your intuition or using your energetic sensitivity, the ability, or being emotionally gifted in your favor. Let's change that, right? You don't want to feel like it's a hindrance or it sets you back. As a super feeler, you have the ability to read the energy in the room. You have, without saying anything, without asking anyone anything, if you want to share your message with the world, for example, like if I go on stage or I'm sharing my message, whether it's here or in a room full of people, I can read the energy in the room. Now, I'm the only person in the room right now, other than my guides. We're connecting this way. But when I'm in a live audience and I'm in the room, I can read the energy in the room. I can feel who's totally dialed in. I can feel who's leaning in energetically. Right? You can read the energy in a room. I don't care if you work in corporate, you're hosting a meeting, you're giving a talk, or you're sharing your message in a big, powerful, meaningful way. If you're writing a book, if you're working with clients, you have so many, to me, extra sprinkles on top abilities as a super feeler to notice the changes and the shifts around you, even in the most subtle ways. I kind of feel like we have a little leg up on the sensitivity and using intuition thing. But in our next segment, I am going to be sharing with you things that other people are not telling you about intuition. You need to know these things. You must know these things in order to use this at the highest level or in your favor the most. Okay. As a super feeler, if you've been taught that your sensitivity is, dare I say, bad, a weakness, if you are, yeah, I sense things, Nicole, but I mean, like, I sense everything and it's overwhelming. I want to show you how to feel without feeling overwhelmed. Yes, possible. And how to interpret what you're picking up on, how to interpret what you're sensing. So, an example that I will see as well, courses and programs that help others be more intuitive and teach them how to be more intuitive. But so you might understand what it is and how to use it, but not the confidence. So my story, when I started to discover these things, like, I could do that. I didn't know that I could read energy. I didn't know that I could read chakras and tune in. I didn't understand that I was feeling what other people could feel emotionally and physically. I'm very clairsentient. I didn't know what that was. I just thought my energy was all over the place. I thought I was a mess. And when I started to understand a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, I would preface things that I was saying to other people like, I know this might sound kind of woo. And it's not. It's not woo, it's life. It's how you're wired. Here's what I want you to lean into that other people are not going to tell you. Okay. You do want to and need to master your mindset skills. There's more to intuition than just sensing things, than just knowing things. In order to have self-trust, if you don't have that currently, a new belief paradigm must be formed. Okay. That's what I'm here to absolutely help you with, because intuition, it's there for you. You have it. It's already you came pre-wired. You're wired for inner guidance. What I want you to know is that unless you change that belief paradigm to back yourself up, intuition might feel like a challenge, but it doesn't have to. Listen, I'm here every first and third Tuesday of the month with the Zenspiration Show. And there are many other ways that you can connect with me over in my community on Facebook, Empowered Living. You can go to energize-u.com for more information about what I have to offer, because I want to empower you. We need your skills, your gifts, your abilities, your light out in the world right now. We need more Zenspiration everywhere I look. It's up to you and I, and we can do it together. I hope you've enjoyed this segment. I have enjoyed this segment. I will see you back for the next show. Until then, bye for now. Thanks for tuning in, my trapezoid friend. Coach Nicole here, signing off from the Zenspiration Show and Inspiration Island. Remember, the magic doesn't end here. We are just getting started. Keep shining your light, embracing the adventure, and spreading those empowered vibes wherever you go. I'll see you on the sunny side. Until next time, stay energized for life.